Morning, guys. Today I'm going to install a couple of these Roto packs on the back of my truck. Each one of these is a 2.5 gallon container. I'm going to put them both off of this plate that I installed here on the door. And I think what I'm going to do, I can either put them up here, I can put them down here, or I can even put them lower. I think I'm going to center them so that they're going to come in right about there, but I still want to be able to access stepping up here to get up to the top. So I may need to play with it a little bit to get that to work, but that's the game plan. Now I've actually walked through the install on this already once, and it was a real pain, so I figured I'd back up, and before I Loctite it all in place, I'd kind of walk through it with you guys so you could see what the pitfalls are, and hopefully keep you guys from doing the same thing I did. So first thing you're going to need is the actual Roto pack itself, the locks mount, which is the locking mechanism, and this comes as a standalone so you can do one. Then you're going to need to get the packs mount extension so that you can hook more than one in there. Let's see if I can get this close enough for you guys to see. So this is the actual locks mount. This is the one that you get. This is about 60 bucks. This is the one with the key that locks into it. This is the other piece right here, and this is the packs mount extension, and that one is about $30, and that's kind of what the top looked off of it when I tore it off there. So those are the parts you're going to need. In addition to that, you're going to need some you're going to need a couple of extended bolts, because the bolts that come with it are really short. So here's the bolt that came with it. Here's the bolt you actually need to do this, otherwise you're going to have trouble. So you can see I've got about a 1/2 inch and an inch bolt there. So you're going to want to go to the hardware store and get some of those. You're also going to want to get some washers to go with it. And then this is the install plate right here that you're going to be using to install it. You're also going to need to put 4 bolts right there and lock them in to hold the plate in. So if you're going to put the plate right here, you're going to want to come through. Oops, sorry. Getting ahead of myself here. You're going to want to put it there. You're going to want to come through like that, and then your other bolt's going to go in through like this. So that's what it's going to look like when you get that part installed. And then on the other 4 holes, you're going to want to get, and these are 7/16 by an inch. So you're going to want to get some other bolts that you're going to be able to put through to be able to hold that on as well. And that's where you're going to want self-locking nuts and some washers to go with that as well. So let me go ahead and get this piece installed, because this is the first piece I've got to put on there in order to get the rest of the stuff to work. Now what happens, and let me show you that real quick as well while I'm at this point. So as I put this together, these are going to stick through. And then this is what it looks like when you get both pieces. But you're going to have to take one of these pieces out to make it work. So when you get it, you're going to need to take the bottom off of here. And you're going to need to take this flywheel out. Trust me, I spent an hour screwing with the damn thing trying to figure out why it wouldn't work. This is now an extra piece. You need the one on this end that goes with the lock, but you don't need this one that's on the bottom anymore. So you're going to take that off, and then you're going to flywheel this back together. Make sure the 2 screws in the bottom, though, are on the bottom, because that's where you're going to connect it to the back of the truck. So let's get this stupid thing started again. And then you're going to want to crank this all the way down in order to take up that extra space. Nowhere in the instructions does it say to do this, but if you don't do this, you guys will be fighting it trying to get it to work. Now I'm going to back that up just a little bit so I can get my screws on here. And I'm going to leave it up to your imagination how you would get those other 4 bolts in there to hold this on. So once I get that on, then I'm going to screw this on. It's going to get tight up against there, but you want it tight up against there so that you've only got a little bit of a gap there. Now those other 4 bolts that I was talking to you guys about, which are the 7/16 bolts, those are the ones that are going to be coming through and connecting in to my rotor pack like that. But I'm going to do it this way. I didn't mean to tighten these guys. I didn't mean to tighten those guys down. They just kind of tightened down one there. So let's back those off just a little bit so I don't have to fight with it. And then we're going to put these top bolts in. And we're going to put the bottom bolts in. That. Then we're going to throw some washers on there. And these are lock washers, by the way. Then after the lock washers, we're going to put these locking nuts on there because I don't want these things to come loose. This is going to be an install. It's going to stay for a while. Okay. Once I've got all those in and they're aligned and everybody's nice and happy, then I'm going to come back in here and I'm just going to tighten everything down. Now the ones I'm tightening right now, these are actually going to get Loctite put on them so that I'm not going to have a problem with them slipping out. Sense of timing here, I'm just going to tighten these 2 down to hold what I'm doing right now so you can see how it comes together. But I would have put Loctite on those at this point so that those would have been nice and tight. Then I'm going to align all this stuff up. And these guys are just going to slide on just like this. That. Now to tighten it, one of my screws. So to figure out the depth you want this for, I can't turn this one that's inside. So I got to take it back off. And I've got to increase the space on this one just a little bit. So I give it a couple more turns, maybe a total of 3 turns, and then you go back on. Okay, that's still... That'll come off if you turn it all the way, which obviously it just did. But it's not supposed. I'm not supposed to turn it to make it come all the way off. So let's put it back on. Put a couple turns on it. And this is what it should do. Hear it locking? Every half turn, it clicks in place when it's locking the way it should. How do I know I have it installed right? I should be able to tighten this down like I'm doing right now until I hear it click nice and hard. I also should have no motion on that at all. A little bit this way because I'm tilting this one and it's not holding on to anything, but it should be nice and tight like that. Then you need to check your key. This is the key piece. The key piece has a little tiny fob that sticks out, a little nipple there at the bottom that when you turn it catches. So what's going to happen is I'm going to slide this in. It's going to go in the first one and then it's going to go into the second one. Then I can turn the key and pull the key out. Now it's locked in place and that's not going anywhere. To get it back out, you have to do the same thing. You have to apply pressure and then just kind of wiggle a little bit and it'll come right out for you. I'm going to end up painting these so that they're not so red, because nothing on the truck is red, and I'm not really too worried about filling it up and not having it a red color. So that's how you install one of these. That's how you get it to lock in without having too much trouble, like I did the first time I tried to do it. Helps if I stick it in right. So if you guys do it and you remove this little piece right here, make the adjustment to the fly that you saw there. Now you just need to bolt it all down, put some Loctite in, and we're good to go. Hope that simplifies it for you guys a little bit and makes it a little easier for your install. Thanks for watching.